Bradley Barcola looks like he might just get over the line because negotiations are going well. It's a hell of a lot of money. But that second winger, Minteh from Brighton, doesn't look like it's going as well as it should be. They are increasingly increasing the number, and that number is £80 million. He's out for the next couple of months, which is a massive concern. They must know how desperate we are. He doesn't score a lot of goals either. And to spend that amount of money on a winger, which is still a potential, he's not reached the ceiling by any means. Are Liverpool missing a trick here? Do they need two wingers? Is there a solution that someone else in the squad could fix? Maybe it's Dominik Szoboszlai. We'll talk about that later in the show. If they did use Dominik Szoboszlai, could they then use the money from a winger to solve the midfield problem? There's no real tangible links. There is a little link that I seen yesterday about Lamine Camara, which I done a show about a few days ago. I'm not even sure it's real, to be honest with you. But is still that midfield a priority? Do Liverpool see it as a priority? Should they see it as a priority? I think they should, because we play Nottingham Forest on Saturday and we all know what we're going to do. We'll get stuck into all of that. But first of all, Christos, it is Bradley Barcola, the most exciting signing of the summer. If Liverpool do get it over the line, I think they will do, because it's a bit like Alexander Isak last season. It just seemed inevitable. I think the price will come down and be a bit closer to what Liverpool really want. I don't think PSG will get what they want completely. It's something that me and you done a show early in the summer. We talked about Yan Diamandi and Bradley Barcola. I wanted Yan Diamandi. You wanted Bradley Barcola. You're going to get what you want.
Yeah, it looks like it. And it looks like Liverpool are not going away from the links. They're not going away from this deal. It looks like that's their man. And they've decided that that's where they want to go to. It looks to me like they're trying to accumulate some funds here and there. Obviously, the Jones signing, Gakpo having links to other sort of clubs, Man City, Tottenham. So it looks like they've decided that that's their man and that's the way they want to go forward. But it has to become a priority in the next few days. It can't drag on anymore, because I think the more you drag on, the more that price goes up, because you don't want to be buying them deadline day, because that's just going to put 10, 20
Do you think
million
that because they've signed two wingers, so arguably the money could come down a little bit? And people talk about this ownership, PSG, the Qataris, you know, they're like, well, they've got loads of money. They might just say, well, we don't mind keeping him here and just stockpiling loads of wingers. But then people are forgetting the missing guy in this, and the guy is Luis Enrique. He's very honourable, and I'm sure a gentleman's agreement has already been done with Bradley Barcola. He seemed to say goodbye on the pitch after the game in the Super Cup final. He's been missing from the squad for the last couple of games. I just don't see how PSG have got as much leverage as some might argue.
Yeah, no, but I still think that they won't back down too much. I think they've got a number in their head. It might not be the number they're flashing around, but I think they are a serious club and they're not going to drop a lot of money from what they're trying to achieve. In terms of Liverpool, again, they've seen him, they've identified him, and they've liked a lot about him, the way he plays, how direct he is, how involved in players. And obviously, Iraola can see what he can use about him. And what we're lacking right now is pace. What we're lacking right now is directness. We brought a manager in who wants to play direct football, vertical football. And at this moment, we've been struggling massively to do that. So I think it'd be a great signing to get through the door. It'll boost morale for the whole squad. And it'll give us something to look forward to, because at the moment, this squad's looking really, really thin.
What does he do for the team, though? That's the big question. What will he do? So, for example, if he was to sign today and we got him over the line, we need to sign him, by the way, by noon Friday for him to be able to be registered for the Forest game. If he signs and he was available and he was going to play, I know people say, oh, he's not going to play, but if he was to play, what does he immediately bring? If we just speak about one winger, don't even think about the idea of having two through the door, because Minteh wouldn't be able to play anyway. One winger, what does that do?
I think it's just more of an outlet to get out, especially when you're playing teams in a low block. When they get to you and when you're counter-attacking them, then you've got someone with pace, someone that can take someone 1v1, someone who's not afraid to make a mistake, and someone who's got experience on that level, top level. He's a 2-time Champions League winner. He's won the league in France. He's dominated. He's plays for France. He's someone that just knows how to get the job done. He's someone that has quality. He's someone that can finish. He's someone who is very established, knows what he is, knows where he's going forward. And the best thing about it is he still has time to develop. And Areola is renowned for developing young players and being able to push them even more forward than what they are.
That's what people are throwing at him, actually. They're saying, he's not the finished article. But I love the fact that you just said he's still got time to develop, because I think he's very good. He's not first choice at PSG, hence why he's leaving. But he's first choice at France, which a bit mad, isn't it? But I think his ceiling is absolutely skyrocketing, and I think he's capable of scoring goals. I think it's very exciting. I think what it does as well is it brings you much more of a defensive contribution in that midfield, and we will keep talking about that midfield until they solve it. Hopefully it's this week. Luis Diaz protected Alexis McAllister so much in that title-winning season because he works so hard like a dog, and he was proper harrying back all the time. Bradley Barcola, I think people keep talking about his attacking attributes, and that's brilliant. That's why we're signing him. Otherwise, it'd be another Dirk Kuyt signing, wouldn't it? Bradley Barcola will come back and work extremely hard, and I think that will massively help the midfield straight away, but I'm not sure it solves it.
No, absolutely. I think I've watched a clip where Luis Enrique is talking to Kylian Mbappe back when he was at PSG, and he's basically telling him, I know you're a superstar, but if you don't work hard, you're never going to be the best. And I think he's instilled that in his team, the hard work ethic, the fact that you're not just a winger, you're a defender. We're all a squad, we're all a team, there's no individuals. And when PSG went away from that sort of superstar-centred approach and went to a younger approach, more tenacity, more togetherness, they became the best team in the world. And he's bringing them values back to us, things that we're missing at this moment. We can see that we struggle in the press, we struggle getting back, we struggle tracking back. There's gaps all over the place. Our midfield's not protected, our defence is not protected. So he just brings more of that element of how to press. He can potentially be the one that starts the press, and someone that we need in terms of adding quality to that forward line, because at this moment, I think it's probably one of the poorest front lines in the Premier League.
Well, I put a bet on about Gakpo scoring, didn't I, on Sunday? And I was like, if he's the player that people's heads are burnt out,
he's our superstar right now.
Yeah, exactly. It is mad. Yeah. The Manchester City link, that did throw me, to be honest with you. It doesn't throw me that people rate him. Bayern Munich have wanted him for the last few seasons. Roberto De Zerbi, highly regarded manager, wants him. Now Manchester City wants him. I'd sell him to Man City. I'd have no problem. And I'd have no problem with him leaving the building. People talk about numbers, but one of the big things about Bradley Barcola coming in is he allows Andoni Iraola to play Andoni Iraola football. I think Gakpo inhibits that. So obviously he's got his worth because he scored the goal the other day. That essentially gets us a point, doesn't it? Without Gakpo on Sunday, you don't get that point. But at the same time, when you're looking throughout the season, you want players to be able to enable Iraola football.
Yeah, I don't think he does that enough. I think he keeps the ball too long. He delays the play a little bit too long for me. And he's not fast enough. He's not penetrating enough. He's not direct enough. I think he takes his time on the ball. And he's one of them. We know what Gakpo does. He cuts in on his right and he tries to take that shot, probably get a cross in. But we want players that are unpredictable. He's too predictable. I think Barcola can provide that in terms of cutting in, cutting out, going forward, just knocking the ball and running. He's got that blistering pace to make that happen. We saw in the first game of the season against Newcastle how pacey wingers or pacey attackers can just make a difference. It doesn't matter how high quality they are. If you've got pace and there's a ball in behind, then you can get through and you can score goals. At this moment, we haven't got pace to get through anyone. I think Nguemo's slow. I think Gakpo's slow. Isak's probably not the fastest. Then Vert is probably not the fastest. Szoboszlai's quick for a midfielder. As a winger, I'm not really sure. So again, that blistering pace that we used to have, or we're used to in terms of Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, wingers of the past, it's just not there anymore. And if we want to be this fast attacking team, we need people and get down the pitch in 10 seconds.
One of the big concerns about Cody Gakpo leaving the football club is the numbers question, and it's been a thing that Liverpool fans have spoken about all season, or all close season, should I say, that it's like it's catching. Everyone's like, we need numbers. And it's like, is it actually, how many numbers do you need? That's the question for you. Put it in the comments. How many players do you need? And then go through it and work backwards. I reckon it's probably about 19 or 20 players. You don't need the squad of 25. You then make that up with a couple of youth players like Trey Neone and so on. So I wouldn't count him in me 20 personally. So about 20 players. And then you have to think about, well, why are we panicking? And the reason why we panic, I believe, is because when Joe Gomez is one of your 20 and Federico Chiesa is one of your 20, or go back in time a little bit, Divock Origi is one of your 20, then they are never available. Even Shaqiri, who was once upon a time your favourite player, was the Christos, was just embarrassed them. You just liked them stylistically, didn't you? But with that injury record, you can't have your reserve players, in a sense, who are injury prone. That can't happen. If you've got 20 lads who are constantly available, that's more than enough. I think that's where the numbers question comes in. That's why I'll get rid of Gakpo. I'm fine with it. But do we need Minteh? And Minteh is, I think he's 22. He scored 7 the season before last and only scored 3 last season for Brighton. He's clearly got talent. He's a pressing monster. That's certainly something that you go on, bring him in. That's fantastic. If it was up to me, I'd bring him in and a midfielder. But the big question is, and we will just speak about Minteh for a second, but the big question is, do you sacrifice signing a Minteh if it is £80 million? Do you go back and go, actually, if he's going to cost 80 million, should we go back and get Ibrahim and buy? Or do we use that money for a midfielder? Because we play Nottingham Forest on Saturday. You play a 3-4-2-1. They're 5-4-1 out of possession. When they're out of possession, they're just going to wait for Liverpool to mess up on the edge of the area. One pass, and they score.
So you're asking me if I want to buy the 2 wingers or 1 winger plus a midfielder?
Yes.
Is that the question?
Yeah. If there's only one scenario, like, don't get me wrong, I think Liverpool should do the right thing and sign 3 players and a right back.
I probably think that we probably would have to go with the second option and get a winger through the door and then a midfielder, because you can see that midfield struggling. You can see that, I don't know, especially McAllister is not the player he used to be. In terms of Szoboszlai, we don't really know how we're going to utilise him at this moment.
So just to jump in, sorry, Christos, I should have said the Dominik Szoboszlai solution. Again, it's not my favourite option in the whole world, because I'd still sign the wingers. But you could put him on the right-hand side. It'd be a bit lopsided. You spoke about, has he got that blistering pace for a wing? And I'm not really sure myself. But you've got Bradley Barcola on the left, you've got Isak, you've got Wirtz, then you've got Szoboszlai flying on that right wing. We know he can score goals. We know he can assist. He's played in the number 10 position anyway, so it'd be like a right-sided number 10. He'd provide that width, but also he'd provide that security to get back into midfield and help as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely an option, and at this moment, I'd probably prefer that than what we're doing right now with Frimpong. I'm not convinced at all in what he's doing. I'm not convinced going forwards. We were sold to this idea that he's a tricky sort of right back with blistering pace. At this moment, that pace is not being used at all. It's not being utilised correctly. He looks lost on the ball. He looks clueless. He doesn't know whether to cross, whether to dribble. He's got no links between other players. That right-hand side is probably our weakest, I think, at this moment. So I think that's definitely an option. And I think...
Not a right back. I'm talking about at right wing. So, for example, Rio Ngamoa. Let's just say, hypothetically, we start the game, we go back in time, Newcastle versus Liverpool. You've got Bradley Barcola on the left. You've got Isak, essentially. You've got Szoboszlai on the right-hand side. You have Gravenberch and a defensive midfielder or a defensive-minded midfielder who can also play the ball. Liverpool seem more balanced to me. And I know we can't go back in time, but we're talking about for the rest of the season. That's what I'm talking about. Szoboszlai on that right-hand side, as in the forward. Do you think that could work?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's got the quality. I think he will adapt his game. I think he's one of them players that wherever you play him, he'll put a shift in and he'll find his way. I don't think he'll be that type of winger that everyone's used to in terms of 1v1s and blistering pace, but I think he'll adapt more to a playmaking role, someone who's going to provide great runs. He's going to be intelligent in his runs. He's going to have a great pass on him. He's always a threat. His shot is brilliant. He knows when to get into the box. And I think the link up is there. He knows most of the squad. He's been here long enough now where he understands how we're trying to play. And he's been given a leadership role. I don't think that's something to sort of disregard. I think there's a reason, and he's shown qualities of that. And I think he, at this moment, is probably our best option there. I don't think anyone else has proven themselves to cement that right-hand side. Definitely not Frimpong. It's definitely not Engamoa. It's definitely not Gakpo. So I think he's probably our next best option.
Would you sign Minteh for 80 million?
Yes, I think so.
You just do it anyway?
Yeah, I'd do it anyway.
I think you can probably bring the number down. I'm just a bit concerned about, like, you sign the player and he's missing for the next few months. That, to me, is so frustrating, isn't it? But I guess it for the future, then you got to think about long term. I actually really like him. Are you concerned about the goals?
I am concerned about the goals, but at the same time, he's someone that is used to the Premier League. He's someone that puts fear into defenders. He's someone who has great pace. He's great on 1v1 situations. And although he always goes at the outside of the byline, he's left-footed, so that could work for us. Someone who would be comfortable on that left-hand side, who can go inside, can go outside, can provide a run, can provide a cross, can do everything. And I think he's someone that has proven himself. Again, I'm repeating myself, he's proven himself at a great sort of level in the Premier League, and I think he's ready to make that next step forward. And I think in a Liverpool team, them 3 goals might turn into 7, 8. I'm not expecting him to get Salah numbers, but I don't think we'll ever get someone with Salah numbers. That's why I think Liverpool have chosen to go forward with Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz and all these left wingers that are being linked, because they're probably thinking that the numbers are going to be accumulated from there, from the midfield and different departments of the pitch.
There's one thing I do disagree with you. He's not ready because he's still a couple of months away because he's injured, which is the biggest concern. One of the things I've got which with Minteh is that maybe we should reevaluate how we look at the setup of Liverpool football team, basically, because I didn't like Firmino at the beginning because my whole footballing schooling was watching Robbie Fowler, Michael Owen, Luis Suarez, Fernando Torres score from central areas. And Liverpool always certainly felt like they had the best strike in the Premier League. I'm biased. So then when we wasn't scoring from the central areas, even though the Salah was scoring from the right and Mane was scoring from the left, I was like, can we just score from the centre forward position as well? And then it took me a long time. Now I'm like yourself and everyone else. It's like, why aren't we scoring from the wing position? Like, you know, Minteh has to score 30 goals or we're not signing or capable, when actually he's more Pedro Neto than he is his idol, Sadio Mane. I don't think he's going to become a Sadio Mane, but Liverpool are going to set up differently and he's going to be that facilitator, which could be integral for Isak and Florian Wirtz.
Yeah, and I think also what else these wingers can do is provide width, and by providing width and keeping the ball on the sides of the pitch, what you're doing then is you're dragging players with you, and by dragging players with you, you're giving space to the likes of Isak, you're giving space to the likes of Wirtz, you're giving space to the likes of the midfielders to come forward and make a run. At this moment, we're so narrow that it's so easy for teams to defend. We're not shifting them left, we're not shifting them right, we're just playing in a central area, and we're not providing enough sort of difficulty. I think it's too predictable what we're going to do. Teams just set up in a system. They know what we're going to do, and they just sit tight and wait for us to make a mistake, wait for us to put a ball in the box, and most times we probably don't win that ball. So I think there's a lot of things that he can provide, and I think especially under Iraola, he can teach him how to be a winger for Liverpool. He can teach him how to provide that width even more, and how that is going to facilitate what we're trying to do.
There's a brilliant little story about Semenyo, actually. Semenyo, if you remember, people didn't rate him that highly, and Iraola worked with him, and he taught him. When you're talking about teaching Minteh, is like he taught him from the outside to cut in the inside and beat his man in the run before, off the ball situation, and that's when he started to get all the goals and then get his move to Manchester City. That's what I'm excited about. Maybe he will then elevate Minteh in a goal scoring type of way. But midfield, is there anyone out there that you think that Liverpool should get, can get? Because that's the question, isn't it? People always go, who can you sign? I spoke about Lamine Kamara the other day. I don't know if you know too much about him. He's certainly a very good ball-playing midfielder, defensive midfielder, first and foremost. If he's ready for the next level, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But like, I do think it's integral for Liverpool's success this season that they do sign a midfielder.
I think there was many options out there, but I think we've left it a little bit too late. I mean, the likes of Tonali, Guimaraes, Man United just got Believer through the door. So there is them types of players.
Are you annoyed about the Believer one?
A little bit, yeah. I don't know whether he's going to work for them, but I think other teams are identifying their weaknesses and basically fixing them. We're waiting for that perfect deal. We're waiting for that perfect moment. And I think at this time, we don't have that luxury. We need to bring players through the door because at this moment, this midfield is probably one of the weakest in the midfield, in the Premier League, sorry. We're getting bullied every week, even in pre-season.
They're all good players, but they're so easy to play against. It's the mix of the players, isn't it? So if you took one of those players and you put Gravenberch in, let's say, the Arsenal midfield, it'd probably make them a nicer team to watch. The same with McAllister. The same, well, Szoboszlai would be very similar to Declan Rice probably, but still, each and every one of them, you go, okay, sound, we'll put you there, and it'd work, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I'll go back to it again. I think the biggest problem in this squad is Florian Wirtz. I think it doesn't work. I think we're gonna have to go back to midfield 3, sack this number 10 off. I'm not really interested in it. It hasn't worked. It's been an experiment that's gone bad. If it was up to me, I'd cut my losses, get 50, 60 million for him, and send him on his way. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm not saying he can't be world class, but I don't think he can do that for Liverpool. What we need is a warrior midfield. We need to go back to that sort of Brexit midfield type where people just think that we're horrible. People just hate playing against
Might
us.
send you home, Christmas.
Yeah, and I just want to go back to that, being someone that people, teams hate playing against, that managers look at and probably double up and quadruple up in the midfield just to compete. At this moment, probably 2 players can probably run sort of rings around us, and it's just so easy to get through Liverpool. Too many players committing, not enough communication, and I think you need that type of player who's more defensively minded to come in and sort of structure them a little bit more, protect the defence.
Jamie Carragher is one of the most knowledgeable men in football, and he's normally right. He might be right. I'm just hoping that over the next few weeks when Liverpool do sign some wingers, it elevates Florian Wirtz's ability. I think he's lacking confidence as well. I think confidence is a massive thing. When you're not confident, you don't perform. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he does turn it around. That would be lovely. I think now, when you think about Forest on Saturday, though, and that's the immediate thing, it's there's 3 points up for grabs. They're not in great nick. They've just been beaten in consecutive home matches by the same team. I'm pretty sure Liverpool done that to Chelsea once upon a time in 2012. Someone needs to look that one up. I'm not really sure. Do Liverpool change the dynamic of the midfield on Saturday? Do they need to against this Forest side? Does Florian Wirtz play? He looked dejected with half an hour to go sitting on that bench. He looked like all the pressure in the world was on him. And Iriola didn't sign him. He's probably thinking, oh God, here we go again. And then the fact that Carragher has come out on the Monday night, and I don't want to say slammed him, because I think he's just being analytical and he's doing his job. I don't think like he's being malicious or anything like that, but I don't know what your thoughts are.
I wouldn't start him. I don't think, even though I watched that game last night, that was probably one of the worst experiences I've had. It was really, really dire. I think it's a Forest team.
Sorry, I phoned you now, aren't you?
It's a Forest team that looks lost. Their identity is still underway. I think I was happy a little bit to be a Liverpool fan watching them lot. But at the same time, they've got 2 areas where they can exploit Liverpool. The first one is the counter-attack, which we've struggled massively over the last year or so. And the second one is set pieces / long throws, which again, we've struggled massively. So I think to go for this game, to win this game, I think it's going to be a matter of outscoring them. I think we will concede, but I think we need to go for it. I think they struggled yesterday. They seemed to try to play from the back. No matter how many times they lost the ball, they just kept going, trying to play from the back. That must be some sort of idea he's instilled with them and persevering with it, because there was massive mistakes happening in that sort of back line, but they just kept playing, and it cost them. I thought it should have been 4-5-0 last night. They got away with it. And I think we can do that to them. I think we're already improving in our press. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's one of the best in Europe, but I think it's improved from where we were. I think we can use that. But to do that, I don't think Florian Wirtz can do that. I think if you're going to bring Florian Wirtz in, you're going to bring him in with 20 minutes to go to sort of when they're tired and when there's more space in the pitch. I think what I'd probably do is go Gravenberch. I haven't even got any options. Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai. Get
as a three-man midfield,
initiating the press, and then just go for them. You need high press, and then just take risks, because they are going to counter-attack. Yeah, they have got loads of threats, but at the same time, they're a team that are lost. So if you press them in the right areas, win the ball up high, I think we can score, and they're very easy to play against.
I think the fair thing that's got going for them is that now the pressure's off. I know they've just lost 2 consecutive home games, but they're going away to Liverpool. Normally, if you're a team like Forest, you go, okay, 3 hits. Although the elephant in the room is they beat us 3-0 last season at Anfield and 1-0 the season before. We did win 1-0 away. They are our bogey side at Anfield at the moment. We haven't even scored a goal against them in the last couple of seasons. So they might take some comfort from that, which I am a little bit concerned about. If Florian Wirtz does play, what I want to see is a little bit of fight. I think we'll find out a lot about him. If that, I felt like in the first 5 minutes against Newcastle, he started all right, neat and tidy. And then from then, he progressively looked a little bit frightened. And I think he needs to turn up at Anfield and go, who the fuck are all yous? I'm going to show you who Florian Wirtz is. And if he does that and does a bit of what Victor Munoz did, and come on, then I think that'd be brilliant. But before, because there is the Champions League draw tomorrow, and before we get onto that, I want to talk about the big one, which is tonight, is the League Cup draw. So, who do you want? Listen, you can't say Everton, they'll be knocked out by then.
I'd take a Championship side. Anyone. I don't want to see anyone from the Premier League. I want the game to be as easy as possible. I don't want our squad is thin already, so I don't want us playing full squad teams against anyone good. And if we don't play full squad teams against anyone good, we're going to get battered. So I think a Championship side, I'd be happy with that. I don't want to see anything like a Man United, a Chelsea, none of that. We're not ready for it. I think we've got bigger fish to fry at this moment. And to be frank, I can't really think about the cup right now. I'm thinking about the Champions League. I'm thinking about the league.
I don't think anyone's thinking about it, to be fair. I agree. The lower division sides, although I have to sit there and watch it, it's really boring. Lower division sides, mixed team, easy win, or just play Everton, because it would just be funny. We'll move quickly on to the Champions League, and we'll just do this quick fire because we're running out of time. So the Champions League is tomorrow. The draw, we're all waiting for that one. It's dead exciting. Any particular team that you want? Are there any Greek teams? Are there any Cypriot teams involved?
In terms of Cypriot teams, there isn't. They've got knocked out. So I'd probably go for more European giants. I'd love to play some European giants, because especially now it's the group stage. So let's face it, we're going to get through. Like any team that is above a certain level, is it 24 teams that go through? So essentially, you've got to be really, really crap. So it's a time to test ourselves. It's a time to probably rotate the squad a little bit, try different things, and play against the big boys. Bring on the Bayern Munichs, bring on the PSGs, bring on Real Madrid, bring Trent back to Anfield so we can boo him like they did to Isak the other week. So yeah, anyone like that, I'd love to see that type of game. But I'd probably think, Real Madrid, Jose Mourinho coming back to Anfield.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think that would be a really, really feisty game.
He won't play him. I forgot about Mourinho. Now I'm not sure what I want. Actually, do you know what? I want Real Madrid away, because Bradley Barcola versus Trent. Listen, I'll take Trent back. I'm watching Jeremy Frimpong trying to cross the ball the other day. I'll take Trent back. But before we take him back, I'd love Bradley Barcola to give him a football lesson in the Bernabeu. And I think it'd be better, because Mourinho would have to push up, wouldn't he? Because he's at home. So Real Madrid away, I'll take that all day. But listen, it has been Pete Bolster, it's been Christos Nicolau, it's been the Spine Cop. There will be one show going out tomorrow morning, I think around about 8 a.m, about the European Cup, the Champions League. It isn't Liverpool related, but I still think it's worth a watch. So have a little look at that one, please. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. And thank you for all the comments that are going in. Because every time you comment and every time you like it, it puts us in a bigger audience on YouTube, which is really what we need because we're still relatively small. And the bigger and the quicker we grow, the better and more shows we can put out. It's been, I've already said it's been me, isn't it? So up the Reds.